Hello and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. My name is Gail Moffat, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself this evening, because I don't normally talk about myself, but why not? I thought, why not? So I am, as you can probably tell from my accent, I'm British and from the UK, and I'm currently in Brighton, which if ever you're coming or visiting the UK, Brighton is a really cool city. It sort of reminds me a little bit of San Francisco, or that sort of vibe about it. It's got a vibe. Anyway, so I'm a medium, and that means I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world. But I also can sort of ask for guidance as well, which is, so I can sort of do sort of both sides of things, which is really good. And now, about 3 years ago, people from the Bible era started coming forward and started communicating with me. And let me tell you, I was as astonished as you probably are thinking right now, or maybe disbelieving or whatever. But I was completely astonished, and it took me a while to sort of acknowledge them, because they kept on pushing and pushing to speak. And so after a little while, they kept on asking me to do this, is to go public with their words. And so what I did is I set up a YouTube channel, so you can, if you want to listen to some of the words from people like God and Jesus and Mother Mary and many of the saints, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Gail Moffat, God's Messenger and Healer, and you can watch all the videos and all the words that come through. It's absolutely fascinating. I'm sure that you would love it. And so that's sort of a little bit about me, and sort of what I'm doing. And the last video that I did, I brought through Thomas Aquinas, and he brought through something that was really interesting. I thought was quite sort of fascinating. And what he was saying was that people don't quite understand the importance of love, and he was saying how many people should love God in the same way that they love children, because God is unconditional in his love, and so that, and he was describing how, as a parent, for our children, we are unconditional in our love. We will always sort of make allowances or forgive them quite easily, because they are our children and they are growing and maturing, and so we don't expect them to know everything or be sort of astute in the way that perhaps we are as we get older. So I sort of thought that was a really sort of quite sort of interesting sort of speech that Thomas Aquinas did this week. And so you can get that on YouTube if you want to listen. Now, I know that we're going to have some callers calling in, and I believe that we have Lacey in Hampshire. Are you there, Lacey?
Yes, hello.
Oh, and you're not far away from me with a British accent.
Yes.
So I'm a medium, and I can connect to loved ones, or I can look to give you some guidance from my guides. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
No, anyway, it's fine. Just looking for just something, really.
Okay. Right. So I will just see what sort of comes up. The first thing that sort of comes straight in is I believe that you have a grandmother, and I want to go on your mother's side of the family that's in spirit, and she's just come straight in to me. Without sort of hesitation. There wasn't any time for me to think, now what should I talk about? And she's saying to me that she couldn't miss this opportunity to communicate with you, because there is a really sort of she's saying to me there's a really sort of strong relationship that the two of you have, and she says it's being she's saying it's been a long time since we've spoken. And she's saying to me that when she was alive, she's saying to me that she would always, and she's showing me, I don't know whether this is a metaphor or a literal thing, but she's showing me as she holds your hand, and she's making me feel as though she would have held your hand through certain situations as you were growing up.
That's correct.
Because she says that, you know, your life wasn't particularly easy as a young child. And she's saying that she did her utmost to step up and be that parent to you and really support and help you. And she feels
that's correct.
And she feels that as a result of how she was with you and what she did with you and the nurturing that she did for you, she feels that you are a fairly well-balanced individual as an adult. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Good.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Good. Because she says that she's so proud of you, and she says that you make she says that when you're making decisions about life, you make very careful decisions and you think them through very carefully, and you don't always jump into situations where perhaps other people might jump into situations and get their fingers burnt, but you're quite cautious and careful over any decision that you make. And she feels that
yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, sorry, go on.
She feels that you are currently mulling over a certain situation as to how to handle things or what to do and how to move forward with this particular situation. And she says, and this is why she wanted to particularly come forward today to sort of give you some guidance and some help. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, very much. Everything you've said makes perfect sense.
She's saying to me that you're a little bit scared about making some, what she would call as radical changes in your life. And you almost feel like better the devil you know than sort of going out into the wilderness. And you're a little bit apprehensive and scared about making some moves. But she's saying
100%.
that she's saying that she has the ability to sort of go to God and see what he has to say about certain circumstances and to make some changes. And what she's showing me, she's put this hand right in your back and she's pushing you. And she's like pushing you and she's saying, now, before I go any further, I have to really stress that any decision that you make has to be your own decision and it is only her opinion. But I'm just covering my back here saying all the, the disclaimer bits. But what she's saying is that she's eager for you to make some changes in your life and make a difference to the way that you live, because she feels that where you are right now isn't serving you well and is causing you a lot of pain in your heart. And she's drawing my attention to your stomach, and she makes me feel like your stomach is quite often in knots and you're not feeling well about a certain circumstance that you're in. Would that make sense to you, Lacey?
That makes perfect sense. Everything is perfect. Yeah.
She's saying to me, she says that if you're brave enough to make this decision, and she knows what you're like, she knows that you'll be umming and ahhing forever over shall I, shan't I? And and that's just normal. That's just how we are in life, isn't it? It's a scary world out there to make some changes, and it's always better to sort of know our comfort zone. But what she's saying to me is that if you make this change, if you take this plunge to move forward and make a difference in your world and in your life, she says that she makes a promise to you. She's going to be standing right by the side of you and she's not going anywhere and she's going to support you through every step of the way and help you make those radical changes and make that difference in your world. She says, because this is your time. You deserve to have good times in your life and be happy again. And she says that it's been a long time since she's seen a smile on your face. And she's saying to me that you need to have that happiness and that love around you. And she says there is love waiting for you. It just requires you to open the door and walk through it and be in a different world and in a different environment. But that world is full of happiness. And she's assuring you that it's the best way to move forward. Oh, phew, she spoke through to me really quickly. It's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's her.
Is it?
Yes. Thank you very much.
I'm just checking to see if there's anything else. Is there any questions you want to ask before I go to the next caller?
Just about my relationship, really. Like, are we going to be okay, really?
I'm getting silence. Hold on a moment. I'm just that doesn't mean anything. It just means that I just need to make sure that I'm connected.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
She says that you have okay. She says that you have many choices in your life, and one of them is whether you continue in the relationship that you have. But she says that when she okay, what's she saying? She's saying that your relationship. How are you putting this? Sorry. She's saying that your relationship is not entirely giving you everything that you need. And this is from her point. And she says that you have questioned this relationship and questioned whether you should be in it. And she feels that you have a better opportunity elsewhere in your life. And she's saying to me that if you are brave enough to take that step and walk tall and walk out of the relation, oh gosh, that slipped out of my mouth. How can I say that? La la la, la 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 la. But yeah, you hear what she's saying, don't you? You hear what she's saying.
I can.
She feels that there is deeper happiness elsewhere. But
I can understand that, yeah.
Well, it's good that you can understand that, but I really have to put this caveat in that you know, when you speak to a medium or a psychic, you know, we can pick up things and pick up advices, and you know, our loved ones in the spirit, they're just the same as they were here. They will have opinions, and this is her opinion. But you may speak to somebody else, and they may have a different opinion. And she's telling me off now, and she's saying that I shouldn't be putting in all these caveats. And she says her words are true, and this is what you should be doing. So
that is my nan.
Yeah, she's telling me off. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's nice to have somebody that's strong in the spirit world and watching your back, and that's very much evidently what she's about. She's watching your back.
Oh, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for calling. If you want to connect with me in any way, I'm on Facebook, and I also have a YouTube channel, and my name's Gail Moffat.
Brilliant.
So thank you very much for calling in, Lacey. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Right, so we have Asia in Kansas City, Missouri. Are you there, Asia?
Yes, I am here.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Gail Moffat. Now, I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can look to give you guidance. Is there a particular area where you'd like me to work?
No particular area, just anything in general.
Okay, right. Okay, well, as I'm talking, I'm aware of a gentleman that's coming forward, and I feel that, and he's just sort of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "I want to talk." so we'll go with him, and he says that he he's saying to me that he played an integral role in your family and was considered in your family an important person, and people would have perhaps looked up to him and considered him sort of like the key person in the family dynamics. And he makes me feel, I can't, it's very difficult because he's making me feel like he's got these fatherly tones, but he also makes me feel like he could be a grandfather. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah. Actually, my uncle, we have been looking for him for a couple of days. He's been missing since Saturday night. So that's the feel I could get from it.
Right. So you're missing an uncle for since Saturday night.
Yes.
And right. And do you feel that this is this person that I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, because us not being able to communicate with him, it's not like him. So.
Right. Okay. Right, I'm just gonna just let me go back to him and see what I'm getting. Would you understand a name beginning with a D?
A D?
Yes.
His name is David.
I was going to say David, and I wasn't brave enough, and I said D. So because he's saying that's me. So he's oh, I am so sorry, and he's been missing 2 days. Wow. So you know, it's you know, when you're a medium, it never sort of it's never like, situations can throw you at all sorts of time, and this one right now is slightly throwing me because I just think, wow, you know, somebody's been missing and he's come straight forward to me. He's saying to me that the words I'm hearing is that he lost his way, and he feels sort of, you know, sort of lost. Would that make sense to you when he was here?
Yes.
And he's saying to me that he made 1 or 2 decisions in life that he feels backfired and caused him some difficulty in his life. And he's saying to me that he should have done things slightly differently. And he's also making me feel like he has shame as well. There's shame with him, and he feels embarrassed about some of the things that he's done. Would that make sense to you?
Yes.
He's saying to me that he thought that he could make a difference, and he thought that he could, you know, make everybody's life happy and give to everybody. But he found that it's almost like no matter what he did or which way he turned or what he did, he always seems to sort of make a few mistakes. And he's saying to me that he wishes that he had done things differently, and because he's also saying to me, in his willingness to help other people, he feels that he on some level he upset people, and they were sort of like there were people that were upset with him and sort of slightly cross with him. and he's saying to me that he was only trying to sort of help people or bring like sunshine to their lives, and I've got a song that's coming into my head, and sometimes when I get songs, it's because it's something pertinent to the message that I'm getting, and I feel and it's sunshine on a rainy day. Do you know that song? And I just look at the words, because I feel that they may be relevant to him. He's apologizing profusely to you, because he feels like out of a lot of his relatives and his people in his life, he feels that you are probably one of the people that will be hurt the most by his passing. And he's saying to me that he has he doesn't want you to suffer, and he's saying to me that he's going to try and like protect you, because he feels that some of the people in the family may turn against you, as they did with him. And he's saying that he wants to try and protect you. He doesn't want you to go through what he had to go through, because he's saying to me that some of the members of the family aren't particularly nice, and some of them will almost like do anything for their own gain. But then there are other members of the family that are adorable and lovely, and people that he loves. But he's saying to me that he's telling you very, very clearly that he wants to protect you, and he's so sorry to have hurt you in this way and to have brought this to your attention. But he feels that it was important, and he made the decision that he wanted to come through tonight. He felt that it was important that he let you know that he has passed and that he is in spirit. And he's apologizing profusely to you for that, for some of the mistakes that he's made in his life, and is also saying to me that it's like he sees you not just like a niece, he sees you like a daughter as well, because he says to me that he was very fond of you when you were growing up, and he was always looking to give you guidance and support you and help you, and he says that when he remembers when you were children, there was lots of laughter and fun, because he was, in his words, he was the fun uncle that came around and had a giggle and a laugh, and he was always sort of very sort of upbeat and happy. But sadly, his emotions and his feelings haven't been like that in the last few months, and he's saying to me that he has found life quite difficult, and he's also saying to me that he's drawing my attention to another female, and I feel like this other female will be suffering at the loss as well. And he's very concerned about her feelings and her emotions. And he feels that I almost feel that this could be your cousin or some. I feel like it's a younger person, but he feels that it would be a great benefit if you were to support this person as well.
Yes.
I've got about 90 seconds. Is there anything that you want to say before I go?
Could you kind of get an insight of what happened to him?
Yes. I feel that he makes me feel like he made the decision to pass, and I feel that this is almost like not an accident. It's not an accident. He makes me feel like it's a planned decision that he made. And again, he's standing next to me, and he's like got this sort of like trepidation, and he's about how you might react to that. And he's saying to me that he promises you that as soon as he got over to the spirit world, it wasn't long after when he realised that perhaps he should have done things differently, and he had made a big mistake.